After cheating on her partner and allowing him to get robbed by her friends, OP wants to know if there's anything she can do to regain his trust. To find out how this story ends, get yourself a coffee and grab a bowl of popcorn so we can get into it.
Me and my boyfriend have been dating for a month and a half. Everything's been great. We communicate well. We're very happy, laugh a lot, and he spoils me and my 2 kids. About a week ago, I went to a mutual friend's house because I was child-free. But while I was there, I couldn't get a hold of my boyfriend. He works nights, and sometimes he sleeps all day, and he just kind of got a promotion, so he was working even longer hours. Anyway, I was at my friend's place, and I was expecting him to answer the phone, or to show up because he's also friends with my friend's partner, and they always hang out together. Ultimately, though, he never sent me a message, and we ended up partying all night. I was super intoxicated, but I won't say with what, and my BPD didn't make it easier. My friend, and all the other people who were there, started telling me things about my boyfriend, things I didn't know. They told me that he cheated on me with multiple girls, which triggered me very badly. I really wanted to break up with him. I even wanted to physically hurt him, because I'd always been faithful to him. I'd never even spoken with another guy. My friends decided to invite someone over, someone I slept with a few months ago. I know that is when I should have left, but I didn't. I made the mistake of sleeping with him again, because I wanted to get back at my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend. My boyfriend actually ended up calling me in the morning. It must have been about 7 o'clock. He said that he was sleeping and was sorry for not answering my calls. He asked me where I was, and I told him that I was at our friend's place, and when he wanted to know who was there, I mentioned the guy's name, the guy I ended up sleeping with. Immediately he got offended and said he was on his way over, and I thought he was coming to beat the guy up, thinking that we hooked up again. When he came over, I tried to break up with him, but the other guys who were there ended up robbing him. While they were taking his stuff, I just stood there, letting it happen. I know that I shouldn't have let them do it, but I was really under the influence at the time, and angry about what I was told about him. We found a quiet place to talk, and he took all his stuff out of my car, and I took my car keys back from him. He showed me proof that he wasn't cheating by showing me everything on his phone, but he could have easily just deleted it. In the end, we went our separate ways. I left in my car, and he left in a cab, but he was basically homeless because he was living with me. I broke down, realizing that I regretted my actions and choices. I called and texted him, saying that I wanted him back, but he said no because in his mind I set him up, talked badly about him to my friends, and cheated. I regret all of it, and I wish that I stayed home that night. He told me that I really hurt him, that he cried all night, and didn't deserve what I did. And honestly, he didn't. He was amazing with me and my kids. It's just that he was always busy. So I felt neglected and lonely, which is partly because of my BPD. Whenever he didn't answer my calls or texts, I felt like he was abandoning me, cheating on me, or maybe something else. He uses his phone a lot for work, so he shouldn't have had any issues with answering me. We talked, and he said that he would forgive me because he loved me so much. But still it would take time. He was very distant and said that he needed space to figure out what he wanted to do. It has been a whole week since I saw him last, and I respected the fact that he needed time, but I also needed an answer. I was going insane waiting for a call or text message from him, so I tricked him into seeing me by saying that I had work and needed him to drive me. The first thing he said was, "I miss being here." As he sat down in my room, he was almost crying too. He said that he was going to come back eventually, but he's still too hurt when he thinks about what I did to him. I expressed how the guy meant nothing to me, and showed him that I blocked him the same day that everything happened. I don't know why I did what I did. I really think I split from my BPD, and even though that had a huge part in it, it's still not an excuse. I really love him, and he said that he really loves me too. I cried the entire time because I was so ashamed and upset about how much I hurt him. When our talk was over, he wanted me to walk him to the car, and he hugged me for the first time in a long time. We were there for a while, and I cried on his shoulder, saying how sorry I was again for the millionth time. He kissed me, and it was a long kiss too, not just a peck. He was crying, saying that he loved me, and not to cry because I was too pretty to cry. He said everyone makes mistakes and not to beat myself up over it. He made me smile, and he smiled. We said our goodbyes and haven't seen each other since. We text here and there, but again, he's still very distant and wants his space. He just wanted to work on himself, and said he's not going to see other girls, and working on myself is something I also needed to do. I just want him to come home. I want him to trust me again. What I'm asking is there any hope for us after I cheated on him and hurt him so badly? Do guys forgive that type of thing? I've never cheated on someone before, and this is only my second relationship. The father of my kids was the first. Should I give him more time to come back to me? Or should I message him saying that he needs to decide because it's been 2 weeks since everything happened? What can I do to make him trust me again? Or what should I do? Should I keep waiting for him to message me because he's been barely texting or responding, and when he does, he doesn't say very much? Oh, and I might be pregnant again, but this time it's with his child. I told him this, and he didn't want me to abort it, and actually wants to help me take care of the baby. When we first met, I was pregnant for the guy I cheated on him with, but I didn't keep it. When I got an abortion that time, he was very supportive of my choice. I just need an answer.
OP seems very impulsive with her decision-making, which is a liability when you're trying to build a life with someone. Your partner is someone who's meant to have your back and have your best interest in mind at all times. For her to put him in a situation which led to him being robbed by a bunch of guys is disgusting. As they say, you are the company you keep, and much like her friends, OP's very toxic and is the kind of person to ruin your life if you get too involved. Anyway, let's see what's going on in the comments.
Roseboy says, "This is messed up in so many ways. You cheat for no particular reason other than you couldn't contact your boyfriend. And because your friends tell you he's cheating without giving any thought to actually speaking to your boyfriend to get his opinion. Then you have no problem with him being robbed by your so-called friends. And it's funny how the bad guy was out working for a living, but these good friends were drinking all night and stealing from your partner in the morning. You're a single mom with 2 kids who had a working boyfriend and appeared to be okay with your kids. But obviously, this wasn't as good as cheating with an unemployed guy because your boyfriend didn't answer the phone. Tell me if I have this right, because if I do, your boyfriend, or soon-to-be ex, can do a lot better if that's what you're offering." Informal Writing says, "Reading this actually angered me. How the hell can you let your friends rob him? You're absolute scum and can't seem to remain loyal to any partner you have. My advice is this. Contact the friends who robbed your boyfriend and tell them to give all his stuff back that they took. Then tell them they're scum and cut them off. They're not your friends, they just tricked you into thinking he was cheating, then set you up to cheat on him. You need to forget about dating and get yourself into therapy as soon as possible. You have children, for God's sake. What example are you setting for them exactly? How to be a liar and a cheat. This is now the second partner you've cheated on. Your kids are going to have a crap life unless you sort yourself out immediately, and you don't deserve your boyfriend. Hopefully, he realizes how pathetic you are."
The comments on this story were some of the harshest I've seen, but OP had something to add to her story, so let's hear it.
"We made a plan when he came here. I've taken full responsibility of what I did, apologized millions of times, and cried my eyes out. I've blocked all those friends, and they were our mutual friends. And at some point he went back there with his brother, beat them up, and got his stuff back. I promised that I would work on myself by not drinking or intoxicating myself with anything else. I'm also taking my meds now because I was off them. And I'm also eating, trying to stay healthy, and find a new job. I've been doing this for the last few weeks, and I will continue to do so." He asked me to really think about what I did to him and realize the pain I've caused, and I've done that. I've isolated myself a little because I'm disappointed and disgusted in myself. He's told me not to self-harm because that will break his heart. He really doesn't want to see me hurt. He told me that any other guy would have beat me up and yelled, and he never did either of those things. so I thanked him. He told me for what I did. He could have stolen my car because I made him lose money when my friends stole from him. He told me that when we first started dating, he would never hit me, and said he's a man of his word. So yes, I've been sitting in this horrible regret, wanting my amazing boyfriend back. I've been trying to stay positive for my children because they're my #1 priority. I've been doing things with them, keeping busy and making good meals, all the good stuff. I text him to check in and see how he's doing, but he only gives me an answer sometimes, and I respect that. We're both kind of a train wreck, and I can't say everything on here, but his work isn't exactly all above board. He's been burned by all his ex-girlfriends, and I've been burned and beaten by my kid's dad for 6 years. I worked on myself for 5 years, so when I met him, I felt like I was ready. I was a great girlfriend, things just got to my head. I let people get to me by telling me that he was doing things that he wasn't. I'd stopped taking my meds, didn't really eat, and my kids were with their dad a lot over the summer, so I didn't have to worry about them. I was bored, so ended up drinking and doing other things, and I regret all of it. My BPD got really bad and had me thinking things about my boyfriend that weren't true. I should have told him, but I really lost myself in the relationship and didn't take care of myself. That said, I took care of my kids all the time, and I was always sober with them.
This update shows to me that OP wasn't ready for a relationship and most certainly needs to work on herself. That said, her boyfriend is also sounding a lot more sus, and I question if this guy is as perfect as OP makes him out to be, especially given what OP alleged that he does for work. I feel bad for the kids, and I can't imagine that the environment they're growing up in is what's best for them. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.